Ohio University Athletics is achieving great success in competition and in the classroom. The student athletes are making their way towards even greater victories in their lives. Athletics make that possible. And those students who will never wear an Ohio uniform are working their way towards their dream career as well.
You know, there are really all kinds of disciplines that are involved in one way or another with Ohio athletics. Everything from exercise physiology, dance, music, video production, sports administration, to journalism, and many others.
I really am not completely sure what I want to do with my career, but I know that I want it to be in sports photography. The best way to improve in sports photography and to become a great sports photographer is practice. And there's no better way to practice than shooting as much as possible. During football season, I'm producing anywhere between 10 and 20,000 images that are finished per month.
I really have a passion for intercollegiate athletics and desire to work in marketing or ticket sales for a college athletics team.
I want to get a teaching job, and I want to coach baseball and football. You kind of take mental notes at practice of what some of the coaching points that they give out, and you just kind of can learn just by sitting there and getting firsthand experience of what they do and what goes on every day.
For every student who works for athletics, there are several students who are working alongside. For example, students covering athletics for WUB, The Post, maybe Speakeasy Magazine, they aren't necessarily athletic employees, but they're still gaining invaluable experience that they can't really get anywhere else.
I want to be a sports broadcaster, but I'm not quite sure exactly which part of that I want to go into. Well, I'm hosting Bobcat Blitz. Last year I produced it. You know, I want to be very familiar with all aspects of production. I think that's really important, especially where journalism is going right now.
After I graduate, I plan on choreographing for competitive studios while dancing in a company. So I apply those tools that I learned in my academic class still to this type of dancing.
The dream is to get to become a Major League Baseball broadcaster.
Here's a chopper to third, charging is Barnes, bobbled, gets up, throws to first, Jakubik with a pick in the out.
There are no play-by-play classes. There is not a play-by-play 101. I don't get that anywhere else. So that experience of being able to come here and do it and getting feedback from people who have been in the business, that's the most important thing, because they've been places you haven't. And having that person there who's been around the block, who's been at the Division I college level, to ask all those questions is huge.
So I have a great mentorship with John, and we also have our team doctor, Dr. Tesner, here. So I am at a great place right now where I can go out on the field with them, and I get to be hands-on, and I get to try to figure out what's going on and how to help the situation. But one day I won't have that. One day it will be me.
And the reason I came here over a Syracuse or a Mizzou, even though I'm from St. Louis, which is 2 hours away from the Mizzou campus, everybody knows they have a great journalism program. It's because I knew I'd get experience.
Coach, 13 first half turnovers for Buffalo. You like the defense thus far?
I do. And every other sideline reporter I meet is in his 30s, 40s, or 50s. And it's those times when I think, wow, this is pretty cool. I'll go to Marshall, and the guy's a local TV guy, or Ohio State, wherever you go. These are guys who are in big markets, and they're sideline reporters. And here I am, a junior and senior now in my second year, getting to do this and chase Frank Solich down at halftime and interview him after the game.
We need to get back to the basics. We need to start tackling people instead of grabbing.
And I never think about it, but I'm on in 9 different radio stations covering, I think, 3 states for one of 120 Division I football programs. And I can guarantee you, if I were at Mizzou or Syracuse or with any other athletic department, I probably wouldn't have gotten those chances that I'm getting right now.
It's really an excellent atmosphere here at Ohio where they get those opportunities to be able to learn on the job and be doing things that other places, frankly, are handled by senior level employees.
It's really interesting because for being a student worker, I have pretty much full responsibility. For being the only photographer in the department, I have a lot of responsibilities both in shooting the actual images but editing them as well. And the opportunities that I've had here have been incredible because I've gotten the access and just the opportunities to really cover a lot of wonderful sporting events and make images that have now created a very strong portfolio that I can use to get jobs.
To be able to say that you've had responsibility for building a marketing plan, sport supervision for marketing, experience with postseason events, bowl games, NCAA championship events, that's the sort of things that employers out there in college athletics are looking for.
Students that graduate from Ohio University, if they take full advantage, have the same type of resume that someone does coming out of their first job out of school. You know, we're one step ahead of the game.
This really will help me get a step ahead of other people, I feel like, when I go into my teaching and coaching professions.
It's all about the experience.
Of course your GPA is important, of course getting some of those lessons is important, but the first thing that you show future bosses is what you've actually done out there in the field. If you're just showing them a paper resume, you're going to have to find another field to work in.
Choreographing here for the dance team is getting my name out there and showing that, well, I can make a dance.
It's provided me the opportunity to get my work seen by multiple people and get a large number of high-quality things done and actually published.
I know that just in video production, which is what I studied as a student here at Ohio, we've had some students go on to some pretty amazing jobs and internships. 4 out of the last 5 years, we've had a student go and be selected for an internship with the NFL Films. And 2 students, including myself, became the youngest cinematographers ever in the history of the NFL while we were still students here at Ohio University. Without shooting games for Ohio football as students, that wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have had that experience. When these professional organizations see Ohio athletics on someone's resume, it really helps get their name pulled to the top of the stack. And that's all you can really ask for.
Well, I've been doing Ohio baseball for 3 springs, and this past summer I was with the Burlington Royals. That's a rookie level team affiliated with the Kansas City Royals. That was down in North Carolina. With Burlington, I was the main guy. I was the one-man band. I did it all, and I broadcasted all 70 of their games, and a clip that I had of a couple of Bobcat home runs was the main one that got me that job.
Payoff pitch, driven to deep left field, way back there, and that baby's gone.
You know, basically it's just the reps that you get, and I get a lot of them here with the Bobcats.
Twice I've been on ESPNU's national live broadcast.
Ohio sophomore Caleb Troop. Caleb, guys, I'm here in the middle of the Ozone here at the Convocation Center on what is senior day here in Athens.
You talk about nervous, being on ESPNU when I hadn't ever been on television before. That's stuff that's going to help land me a job that I don't know many other people who can say they have that.
Last year I was awarded the STA All-American honor, which meant I was one of the top 6 collegiate broadcasters in the country. Basically, I just sent them a 22-minute file, and it was thrown into a pool of almost 200 college students who did similar work, and I ended up being the first ever non-senior All-American in the website's history.
This summer I was awarded the College Photographer of the Year, Award of Excellence for Sports Action, and the Bronze Medal for Sports Portfolio. My portfolio, 6 of the 8 images were made for the athletic department, and it's a real testament that despite the fact that I interned this summer in a newspaper, most of my images came from my staff job here.
You can read all the books in the world and learn all of that, but it's being out there in the real world, seeing things that you would never think that you would experience.
That's the key. You don't just become a play-by-play broadcaster, or in many of the other students' work, a cameraman or a sideline reporter or a television reporter just in a year. You need those years. You need to sit back and really study your craft and be able to do it in a year-by-year basis. A lot of schools don't have that. A lot of schools, you have to wait until you're a senior, and then you get a couple of cracks, and then boom, you're in the real world. I was able to get in there as a freshman, and because of that, I'm a lot further along than a lot of other seniors at this stage of the game, because of the fact that when I was 18 and 19 and 20 years old, I was already out there doing things that 21 and 22-year-olds hope to do.